Its wretched kingdoms quake beneath my rage. Will break, and all will burn beneath the shadow of my wings.
It's 2010, WoW is at its peak. We finally got to Arthas the Lich King upon the frozen throne of Icecrown, and now everyone was ready to take on Deathwing and his friends in the Cataclysm. With Warcraft's main villain finally defeated, Blizzard knew they had big shoes to fill with their new protagonist. Who could be bigger threats to the world than the Lich King? As a veteran WoW player who played Cataclysm twice, I think I know why Cataclysm was the start of the end of World of Warcraft and how the rapid removal of the most of the RPG's elements from the game. When they announced the revamp of the old world, a lot of people were excited to have a new place to level up in after going the same zones to level 60 in the last 5 years. But when it finally launched, a lot of people like myself were let down. Some zones were still stuck with the same quest as before, and the ones that got updated were all about Deathwing and his allies. Every updated zone quest felt the same, and the lore was everywhere. I was happy. We were finally returning to our old main continents, Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms, as they finally used the old unused zones like Mount Hyel and Uldum. They had many opportunities to make the old world feel full and big again, if they actually focused on world building, like a boat connecting the new Teneris to Uldum, or a boat connecting Dragonmaw Vault and Mountain Harbor. They had endless opportunities, but they chose to have portals everywhere and used an intro cinematic for all zones, so you wouldn't need a boat or zeppelin to get there for the first time. I remember the day that the Kata pre-patch launched and everybody in general chat was freaking out about how their talent tree was changed. Instead of getting one skill point every level up, you get one every other level you gained, which made it harder for people to create unique builds, and you couldn't spend points in other specs anymore, which a lot of people also felt like it was restricting them to play their class fully. Well, how do you follow up a villain like Arthas? You can see they do not know how to answer that question themselves. It just feels like they just threw every named character they had in a pot to see what kind of story they could brew up. And it failed. It feels like they felt like the next villain had to be stronger and more dangerous than Arthas. Deathwing, allied with all the other lore characters like Ragnaros, felt like a cheap Saturday morning cartoon with the whole "I'll get you next time" vibe, and by just bringing villains back that we already defeated feels dumb and cheap. Like, why kill someone when they can just return the next expansion? The old way that quests worked felt like an adventure. As a new way over interactive quests felt more like a mission. Most people love the old way of questing. You enter a hub, pick up quests, and then go to each and order you wanted. In Cataclysm, everything felt more like a linear game, and after completing one part of the zone, you'd get instant into another phase of the zone, being blocked of other players who are in the phases before and after you, kind of killing their own game. As we know, by the time Cataclysm hit, Blizzard and Activision got merged, and a lot of the original game designers and writers left by then. World of Warcraft started as a passion project by gamers, but just got turned into a profit machine, and Cataclysm was the first expansion where you really felt it. Well, if you're still here and listening, thank you, and see you next time.